I was down over $4,000 copy trading 8 Apex accounts, but we battled back. Now I live streamed the entire thing for my private VGAPS traders, and I'm going to share that with you. I cut up all the trades, and unfortunately, I didn't have my mic plugged in. So I'm going to walk you through the trades as I was taking them and explain to you what I was seeing, what I was thinking, why I lost a certain set of trades, and why I won some humongous trades as well. Now I took some boneheaded trades during this live session. I'm not proud of it, but I'm going to show you and share them with you. And the thing about it is when you record yourself trading, whether you have the mic plugged in, whether you can see your face or not, you just look at the actions. You get to learn a lot about your style of trading, how you trade, what your flaws are, because they're very obvious, and also what you're good at. And if you keep stacking your superpowers on top of each other, that's how you build real consistency and real skill. So hopefully you take that advice, record your trades while you're trading if you can. It'll probably help you get a lot better, a lot faster. All right, so trade one's pretty simple actually. We're at the very bottom of our volume profile, and I feel like we're at a pretty good place to where we could bounce. Price could run a few points past that bottom low, so that double bottom we have there. But I was pretty confident that we'd held once, twice, 3 times before, that same entry would be okay. It ended up being correct. So price dances at my open for quite a while. I try to move my stop. I can't. A trick actually is if you move your stop above where price is, like it's not actually a valid fill, it'll go back to where it was. That way you don't have to like try and slide it and release it and everything else. So I always slide it, and if I can't get it, I move it above, in a long position, above price, and it'll snap back to where it came from. So there are a couple of chances for me to get profitable on this trade. I just didn't take it. I kind of felt like we would get a decent move. Price jumped up a little bit. I felt like I missed my spot there. Did it again, and then immediately got kicked out of this trade. So super solid first trade. Could have been better, but like it was just kind of a weird setup. We took what we could get on that one. Now trade 2, this was an immediate L. This one had basically no chance of being profitable ever. So we have price rolling down here, and we just had taken a long off of that previous red candle. So I felt pretty solid about our spot here. I probably could have given it a little bit more room, but I felt like we were going to get a nice little bounce. Price essentially just opened and ran, and we never had a chance at being profitable on this trade. So I moved my stop up a little bit to try not get completely blown out of these accounts. But yeah, this trade ate up everything we just made and then some pretty fast, actually. So this one never gave us a chance to be successful. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have been looking for shorts way ahead, like way up there. But we'd bounced quite a few times, so I figured price might be done or we might sit and settle for a little bit. And we just didn't. So I ended up losing quite a bit on that specific trade. And I just wanted to see like what was going on, why price had moved as far as it did. Just didn't give us a whole lot. So not a great trade there, but one that will happen. You trade reversals, you're going to get blown out every once in a while. Now you would think I would have learned my lesson, but trade 3 was the exact same thing actually. It just got blown out of this trade too. I almost had it right. I almost did the right thing, which was go short during this movement as I'd seen price do. I missed my entry by a tick or two, I think, but I also was like, maybe price is going to bounce at this brand new low and then rise back up. So I missed the I really messed up twice. I missed the entry on the front end. I should have gone short, and if I would have gone short, I would have made a boatload of money. That'd have been sweet. But instead, I go long at this bottom, and it kind of feels like it was going to be correct. I even had a chance to be like break even, maybe slightly profitable before price ended up rampaging down. And if you're in like a losing position already and a new candle opens, it's going to run and hit your stop just every time. And so that's exactly what happened on this trade. So really kind of a forgettable trade on my part, like really bad one here. Should have been in a short and I almost got it. I just missed it. Ended up in a long position that just wasn't the right move. And so this is where our account got to its very bottom at minus 558 across 8 accounts, being down over $4,000 before we turn it around. Now trade 4 started out like the previous 2 where price just kind of ran down on me. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. But thankfully, we actually got a nice little pop. Now, the reason I felt confident about this trade was that we'd seen 2 bounces at that same level before, and so I felt like price might have exhausted at its bottom and we're ready to head back up. I didn't expect this trade to be as big as it was, and it's going to bounce here in just a second, but it ended up turning out to be a pretty good trade. Now, I was a little more patient today with my stops. Usually, I'm very tight on my stops, but being down almost $600 across 8 accounts left me with a little bit more like I should be patient here. So I'd seen price run up and bounce before, so I didn't want to like move it up too fast. But then as price was running up, I was like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this. And so price ends up moving. I don't even remember how much we make on this trade, but it was a welcomed win because we definitely needed it after those 2 boneheaded trades I took before. So Super solid trade here. I think it ended up being close around 200 bucks or so. Now, also an important note at this time is I had decided after that last trade, or I lost, not this one, but the previous one, I'm not gonna look at my P&L anymore, especially if after this win, I'm just gonna keep trading the good setups that I believe in, and I will get where I need to be over time. So I decided I'm not gonna look at my P&L anymore. I'm just gonna focus on these charts. And it ended up working out pretty good. Now, this probably ended up being one of the better trades of today. What I was looking at is I had price obviously sloping down, and this was the right trade that I wanted to take 1, 2, 3, 5 candles ago that I just didn't get, and I almost missed it here too, which is price is sloping down. I should be looking for a short, and I was right. What I'm looking on the left side is on TradingView is that green bar showing me a very low volume area. I'm looking at that place and thinking I'm going to get myself into a trade, into a short at that spot, and see if we can run down 3, 4, 5, 6 points. And so we do actually end up getting that. So price touches my entry finally, and it holds for a while. And if you're trading reversals, when you see price hit your entry just barely, that's an amazing sight, or an amazing, I guess, spot that you got in at. Like, you've gotten at the right spot where price is kind of done going up, and it might be ready to roll back on you, or roll back for you. So that's what happens here. Price dances at my entry for just a little bit, and then it ends up rolling down. And what I didn't expect was like how much of price actually rolled down. But this is nice. So we end up getting like almost a full candle reversal here that it's about to happen right here. Move our stop. And we're actually pretty tight on this one, but we had just like kind of clawed back from minus 558. So we want to be pretty close. But this one just gave us a ton of movement, and probably could have had a little bit more on that one. But that trade, I believe, brought us back to profit or just near it. So super good trade there. Now, if you've been waiting on a moment to call me an idiot, I found one for you. So we jump into a short trade here as price is kind of climbing back up, but we believe it's going to roll back down. I believe it's going to roll back down. And it does. Now, what you will notice is I have a buy at the bottom of the previous candle's wick, not the one that's open, but the two previous there. Price, out of nowhere, erupts down. It just flies down, and it hits that spot. And so I could have passed all of these evals in this one trade, but it hit my spot so fast, I had no chance. And so I actually get kicked out of this trade well before I wanted to be done with it. And that put us up $760 on the day. And it could have been $1,000 trade, and we'd have passed all 8 of these accounts at one time, but it just didn't work out that way. So if you're in a trade or you're setting up a trade, always be ready for price to just reverse on you like quickly, and ideally in your favor, but close out that previous set of entry, because I mean, my take profit got hit, which I guess is good, but I could have made an additional $500-600 per account had I left that, had I deleted that. So kind of a disappointing trade there altogether, but it ended up being profitable, so it is what it is. Now, right after making almost all that cash, I take another trade here. I go long at this bottom, and I see a couple things. So obviously there are 1, 2, 3 candles to the left that were much lower, but then the 2 previous candles were kind of stacking. I drew a trend line on my chart. You can see on the left side. Like, price is going to bounce here and then kind of run up again. Not the case, right? So I should have had my entry probably where my stop is, and that would have helped me actually take a much better trade here. I should have just been patient, and honestly, I should have stopped trading at this point. I was already up, $700, I think, or so maybe, $700, I think. I should have waited and put my entry right at that spot. That would have been a much better entry for me to take a long trade on instead of the one that I took. So not the smoothest trade there. Now, I did end up taking that same trade I should have taken. I just took it a candle later after a loss, which stunk. But basically putting my entry right at that low, kind of where it should have been before. And then we get price to bounce. And I thought it would run a little bit, but I kind of got spooked here. I should have had my entry set a little bit sooner, but I didn't want to get blown out of a trade again. But price bounces at the same level I thought it was going to bounce at before. I was just too greedy. Price runs up. And I thought this one was actually going to take off like that previous one did. It didn't, so I gave it a lot of room, and I shouldn't have. I should have captured a little bit more profit on this one than I actually ended up doing. But a little solid trade there. Not, I can't be mad about taking profits and clawing back some of those losses that we just had in that previous trade. Now, this one, there's really no excuse for. This is just a horrendous trade, a horrible decision. I'm chasing price at this point. So I caught a nice bounce on that previous trade, made money on that one after losing money on the previous one. And I thought, I'm going to play the same area. I'm going to go ahead and go long at this bottom with zero reasoning behind it. No rationale, no price evidence, nothing. I'm just going to go short. I'm going to go long while price is falling at me. And it just was a horrible mistake. So bad trade here. I chased price. I was feeling a little more confident than I should have been. Ended up giving back quite a bit of the gains that I had on that previous candle. This one, I think after it was all said and done, had me up like $90-something or something. I was up $900 or close to it. and then traded that all the way back to just over $100 because of this one stupid trade that I had that I don't even know why I took it. Way too soon, way too aggressive, just way too arrogant for that. So it's up, yeah, $40. I'm sorry, not $90, $40 after being up almost 1,000 across 8 accounts. Now this brings us to the final trade of the day, and this is a great way to go out. So I put my entry at a place where price had bounced and kind of closed, and I felt like it was going to be a little aggressive, my entry was going to be, but I felt pretty confident that price was going to move up here. What I didn't expect was price to move up this fast, this far. So price just bounces at my entry, like I barely got in this trade. It just takes off. Like you can't ask for a better candle. Like you just get one candle, one shot. It like blitzes. If every trade was like that, you know, we'd all be billionaires. Like just the best trade you could ever ask for. So this one ends up closing out, I think, just under $700 each, or maybe it was just over $700. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but a super, super solid trade here. And that actually puts all of our accounts at 760 or 750 something for the day, and we can finally rest easy. 720, is that what that said? 750, I can't remember exactly, but super solid trade there, closes us out, and we're done trading at that point. So a couple takeaways. One is when you have what I would call like I call it a canon event, where you have one like trade that just like defies all what you were expecting and you make a ton of money, it's okay to stop and just stop trading. Like that's one. Number two is if you get into a trade, you should probably delete the opposite side trade if you're in that trade, because you could have price touch it before you want it to. Like I could have made another $500 across all these accounts, past all my evals in one shot. But because I was sloppy and let a unfilled order sit, I ended up getting, getting kind of screwed on that one. And the last piece is just like be aggressive with your trades. I was down $500 and traded the same exact way as if I was up $900. It didn't matter. Took the same exact trades. My stops have been a little bit different, but I'm going to continue to be aggressive. So if you want to make a lot of money trading, you have to consistently take the same trades regardless of the outcome, because ideally, if your strategy is good enough, the outcome should be more so in your favor than not, which is why we use the volume gaps, which is why I use this manual software and the automated software as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.